Hello guys, my name's Louis and today I'm going to teach you a few Photoshop basics. So we'll get started. Let's open Photoshop. So this is your basic Photoshop kind of layout. You've got a toolbar up here, file, save. You've got images and layers and selecting and filters and stuff. We won't really be using them today. Down here you've got a toolbar with loads of different tools on it. Select tool. These are all used for different things. Some of them have got different options, but we'll leave them at default for the time being. The main ones that we'll be using today are the select tool, move tool, gradient and paint bucket tool, and the text tool. So if you want to go ahead and start a new composition, click new. You can name it up at the top, whatever you want to do. I'm going to name mine composition for tutorial. Right, here you can set the size, make sure that's set to pixels and not centimeters or inches or anything stupid like that. Set it to pixels. You can set the size so you can have it like that, do whatever. I'm going to have 500 as mine. Click OK when that's done. Right, so now we get a blank screen, just a white background that is free to do anything on. But down here we've got a layers panel. What layers do is they let you edit one thing at a time. So you've got your background layer. You've got your background layer, so we're going to unlock that because that's locked, which means we can't work with it at the minute. So double click it and then click OK. Right, so we've got layer 0. You can rename layers, do whatever you want with them, it's up to you. So we don't just want a white background, so we're going to set a colour. So we've got two reds there, the two little boxes. What they are is, the top one is your foreground colour, that's going to be your main colour. The bottom one is a background colour, that's your secondary colour. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make this blue. So if you, as by default it will be set to red at the top of the chart. So if you click the sliders you can scroll down and then you'll see this bit changing colour here, and then that's how you change your colours. You can keep going down and change different ones, you can have mixed, it's up to you really. I'm going to go with a nice turquoise, sorry not turquoise, cyan, and click OK. For my background I'm going to put a yellow. I know that won't go with it, but who cares, it's a tutorial. So we'll click OK. Right, as you can see across here there's your paint bucket tool. If you called that you can get a gradient tool, but we'll leave that for a bit later on. So keep paint bucket tool. Now you've got your paint bucket, it's just like Microsoft Paint that you probably learned in primary school or elementary school, whatever that is. Left click in the square and it changes colour, but I don't want a solid colour, so I'm going to go back to the paint bucket tool and then I'm going to click and hold that and then it'll go gradient. Now with gradients that means that you've got that with gradients on your composition you'll have one colour and then it will slowly fade into a different colour, like so. You can have round ones, angled ones, reflected ones, diamond shaped ones, but I'm going to stick to a straight linear one for the time being. If you just want it down, if you want it vertical or horizontal, you can hold shift so it goes straight and you get a nice, if you hold shift it goes straight like that and it doesn't go anywhere else, and you can have a nice gradient. If you want it to be diagonal, just let go of shift and then drag it, but I'm going to stay with a nice vertical gradient for now. Right, so we've got our background colour sorted, so I'm going to go ahead and add some text. If you look down here there's a big T in between a pen and a cursor. Click the T and then click anywhere in your composition. Now as you can see down in the layers panel, a layer is popped up saying layer 1. That's got a T on it, which means text layer. So we'll click in there and then I'm going to just add some text. I'm going to type my name. Whoops. and I'm going to click out of that. Right, so I've got my text, but you can't see that very well. You can drag it down here, but I want it in the middle, so you can't see that very well. So I'm going to change the colour of it. If you want to change the colour of your text, you can go here on your layers panel, right click and go up to blending options. You can add a drop shadow to it, which will make it stand out from the rest of the background, which I think is quite cool. You can add an inner shadow, which makes it look as if it's embedded, which I also think is quite cool. Personal preference, I prefer the drop shadows. You can if you click on the tabs, you can fiddle with them, so you can have an angle and set distance and spread and size. But for the time being, we'll just leave him at default. So, also with this you can bevel and emboss, which makes it kind of 3D but not 3D, if that makes sense. It makes it look as if it's rounded at the top and kind of bold, but I'm going to leave that off for the time being. So if you want to change the colour of your text, you'll see down here there's a colour overlay. If you tick that box and then click next to it, and then up here you'll see a little box with red in it. Click that and you'll get our colour panel again. So you can click anywhere on that again and then select your colours. I think I'm going to go with probably a purple because it's just random colours, and click OK. So we've got that now. That's my text sorted, but you can play with all these as well, see what they do. So you can have glows, inner glows, it's up to you, gradient overlays, but I'm going to leave it like that for the time being because it's nice and simple. So we click OK, and then that's his text done. That's the basic composition done. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.